Hello my crafty friends, Corrine here from Corrine Crafts. I hope you are well. Have you been doing some lovely crafting? I hope you've been able to get into your craft space and really have a good craft recently. I know I've had a really good weekend of doing lots of crafting. Now my project today, I'm not going to apologise, is another craft and white project. Now look at this. Look at this stenciling. It's stenciled with texture paste in a perfect circle, and I'm going to show you how to do this. Possibly I could have used a smaller butterfly so you could see more of the circle, but it's absolutely gorgeous. I love this triple layered butterfly, so I went with some vellum, some more craft and some white to bring those colours all the way through. Isn't that pretty? Really simple, but really effective. So I'm going to show you now how I used one of my stencils to create this perfect circle. This is one of those projects that as soon as I decided roughly what I was going to make, I just really couldn't wait to get it finished. I could see it in my head what I wanted, and it was just so exciting. So I hope it turns out as well as I hoped. So we'll start at the very beginning. I've got a piece of craft card. I love doing my craft card projects, and I've done that 5 by 6.5 inches. I know you normally do 4 by 6 or 5 by 7, but I quite like 5 by 6.5 inches. It just feels a nice dimensions to me. So this has meant my card base is 6 by 7 inches. So I've got an inch difference between them. So that's going to sit in the middle. I'm just going to show you. This is going to sit on, I've done a matte layer of craft, a matte layer of white, and then this one's going to sit there. I do love my craft and white projects, and I can't apologise for it because they really make me happy. So those are the measurements if you want to make it the exact same size. Now the other thing I've done is I've cut a rectangle of card. Now this is also 5 inches wide, but it doesn't matter on the length, it's just what it is. And I've used one of my nesting circles to cut out an aperture. Now you can do this however you want. You could do this out of, I've just done it out of craft card because I have these in my stash to use over and over. You can see it's got a bit of red or pink that I've used previously. I use them multiple times, but today we're going to do it a little bit different. So let me just make sure I've got a clear space because we don't want to make a mess. So I think I might start with my mat, and I'm going to pop, we don't need that because you've seen the measurements. I'm going to put that on there. And the other thing I've got is my Swirls and Flourishes stencil. So I'm going to pop this over here, just like that. So, oh, actually, I'll tell you what I'll do first is I will put this on. So you see, I've put this central, I've cut this aperture central. So I'm just going to put that on first. I'm going to get myself a nice fresh piece of low tap tape, masking tape, whichever one you want. I'm going to put that across there so it doesn't move. Then I'm going to get my stencil and I'm going to just pop it inside and pop it in there. Now this gap is bigger than the border, so I know that's perfectly all right, and I know that this aperture is centered in the middle of the card, otherwise it gets a little bit difficult. But by having it at 5 inches as well, and then having the aperture cut in the middle, it worked really well. So you can see now when I go to stencil, I've masked off the rest of the card blank, so I'm only going to be able to stencil in this. I've never done this before with texture paste, so I really didn't know how it was going to work. So I'm going to use my opaque texture paste. I love this white one. This is something that I will have to replace sooner or later because I do quite a lot of projects with this. So I love the texture. It's lovely and dense, and how, you know, goes on beautifully. So I'm going to get a decent dollop. That's the technical term, by the way. And I'm going to pop this across here, and I'm just going to spread it through here, just through there. So when I get to the edges, I just come right to the edge. I just sort of hold it down at the edge. You could use a repositional spray if you feel it gives you, you know, a little bit more security. So, but the other thing is it also means that I get nice, even texture on my texture paste, because if I run off there, you see, it gives me a guide. So I know it's all going to be at the same height. So it fills two purposes. So I'm just popping that over there, just like that. Oops. Now this is what you have to be careful of. Sometimes I do it. Sometimes if you scrape across, you end up taking off more than you wanted to. So I'm just going to pop that over like that. Then I'm going to lift this up, and I can just very carefully drag off the most of the excess. And then look at this. So this has just created this perfect circle. So when I peel this off, now look at that. How else could you create that effect? I think that looks absolutely stunning. So if, you know, maybe you've got a circle stencil, so you could create this. I don't. I just think that looks absolutely amazing. I'm so chuffed. Now the thing to do is put this down and leave it to dry. We just need to leave that to dry. So I'm going to put that to one side. You see there? Look at that. Cleaned off all of, look at that. I got that much texture paste back in the jar. And here you go. Here's the one that I put together just, what, about an hour ago. That's all it takes to get it lovely and dry. So you can see that's lovely and touch dry. So I'm going to bring in my card base that you saw a few minutes ago. There's my card base. And we're just going to pop that on to there. Doesn't that look? It looks amazing. It looks so expensive. So I just think white and Kraft, Kraft and cream, both of those work really well. And what I love about this is I'm not actually using too many products. It's a really simple project, but it's going to look, I hope, fantastic. And just that, you know, so if you were thinking about a project that you needed to post, so you wanted dimension, you wanted texture, but you didn't, you know, you needed something that wasn't going to take up too much dimension in the post, then this is going to work really well. You can see by having that glue on the back, I'm able to move it around until I get it where I want. And look at that. Doesn't that look so gorgeous? Okay, so the next thing I'm going to find is a butterfly die, and I'm going to use this one, my Perfect Papillon. So you know me, I love to dig into my craft stash, and you'll often see me use the same things again, because I really want to show you that you can create so many different projects with the same things. So it's a triple layer die, so all these three line up. Now you can use 1, 2 or all three. So what I've done, I've cut one out of vellum. We love a bit of vellum. I've cut one out of Kraft, because it's a Kraft card, and one out of white. So they look perfect, and they're going to layer up absolutely brilliantly. So let's get that out of the way. I'm bringing the card, and I'm just going to pop it across the centre of here. Let's just give it a little bit of shape. Just a tiny bit of shape, just because I don't like being totally flat. Now, I don't need to worry about what adhesive I'm using, because it's going to be hidden. So I'm just going to put a little bit, you can see, tacky glue on there, and I'm going to pop it in the centre. Now, this is one occasion when I am going to try and do it square on. You know what I say normally, if it can't be absolutely perfectly square on, you know, don't bother, make sure you put it on at an angle. But for this, I think I need it square on. It's right, my pokey tool wasn't giving me the look I wanted. It's a bit too small. So just give it a little squeeze along there, and then I'm going to pop a little bit along here. I'm actually going to put a couple of little bits on there as well, just because I don't want lots of antennae on this. So I'm just going to make sure that my antennae all match up. There we go. And then the final, I mean, to me, I'm sort of losing the butterfly at this point, which is why I've done the third layer. And like I say, you could have just done 1 or 2 layers. It's entirely up to you. Now, that's another good reason for shaping. Did you see I had a couple of little bits of waste stuck in there? As soon as I started to shape it, the waste pops out. Now, this isn't a card full of lots of colours, lots of difficult techniques. It's just something really quick and easy. But if you don't want to do craft, this would look lovely with that white and a coloured texture paste. Oh, this would look great in black, wouldn't it? And then you could do like a really holographic glitter texture paste. Oh, that would look really amazing. Never thought of that. I think I quite like the thought of that with a black card and texture paste. Now, that's where we've got to so far. So the next thing I want to do is a sentiment. So I didn't know where I was going to go. So I've prepped all sorts of options. So I've got Time to Celebrate, and I can put it down there. Or I could put it in the middle on Kraft. Bit of Kraft, I think I've got a bit. And put it through the centre, but that then flattens it. So I don't think so. I think I'm going to come down here. So if I'd have thought on, I'd have put my sentiment, then I'd have done Kraft, and then I'd have done white, but I've done it this way now. So this is what's going to have to stay. Change plan. Where's my tweezers? Let's turn that over. I filled up my glue, 3D glue a few minutes ago. Between recordings. There we go. I can put my butterfly back up now. There we go. And then the last bit I'm going to do is put the lid on my glue. I'm going to grab my precision glue gun. Now, I had a look and my pre-gemmed flat back pearls were cream and I wanted white. So I'm just going to pop a couple of white ones. Oh, there's a couple. That one's very big. I don't want that. So let's just go. This means I need to put some of my own adhesive on. Actually, do I want to do those? I've changed plan. Change of plan, I think. I think we're going to go with these. I never put it on before testing. And this just shows you how these projects evolve. Yeah, my white's my newest one, so it works, doesn't it? And I'm going to pop I've seen this done more and more, where you just do little clusters of pearl drops or liquid pearls, and I think it really, really works. Always trying to make sure they're at different angles and different heights. Oh, there we go. I think it needs something up here. Let's do one. There we go. Can't talk while doing pearl drops. There we go. I think that will do. I'm just pressing that down a little bit further. Let's get rid of those off the counter before I lose them all. There we are. And how about that? That was quick, wasn't it? I'm loving that. Now, you could be putting something down the centre of your butterfly. I wanted to keep it simple, but I wanted that absolutely perfect circle of texture paste. How about that? Really quick and simple, but really, really effective. What do you think? Do you like that? I'd love to know what you think. Please share your thoughts with me, because I really would like to know. That was a bit quicker than a lot, but I just think it works. It's Kraft and white, really, really simple, really, really gorgeous. And it's mixing lots of different brands together as well. I'll also link to these sentiments. They're from Hunky Dory. They're in a book, so really, really useful. Okay, that's it then, my friends. I'm going to leave it there. As always, there'll be a link to I'll try and find another crafty one on the left, and a link to my subscribe on the right. And as always, there is a link to all the products that I've used. I'll link to some craft card, I'll link to my texture paste, all those sorts of things down in the description down at the bottom, and any that you can click on, please do. It really does help for me to get recognized by as much as possible. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all again very soon. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to leave me a comment, and I'll be back very soon. Bye for now.